Hello everyone, I'm Tilly Douglas from Visual Sense Crafts, and today I'm going to do the Sheleeart style with the red colours for the Valentine theme because it's that time of year. So what I'm doing with these is I'm using the Arteza, which is the crimson red, and that is just the Arteza red with the pouring medium in it. And this one is the Arteza crimson red with a little touch, just a drop of the Arteza Mars Black. But it does deepen it very, very quickly, so you only want a little drop. And then a slightly darker shade of the same, but just a touch more of the Mars Black in that one. And then for my cell activator, I'm using Amsterdam Black Oxide with Australian Floetrol, because I'm in the UK and just recently I've purchased some Australian Floetrol off eBay. So it's the Flood Floetrol, it's this one, so it has to be the Flood Floetrol, which is from Australia. So I splashed out on that. I did do a video where I test whether the Flood Floetrol is better than what I was previously using, which was the Amsterdam paint with just water mixed in with it, and that does work, but have had far better results with the Australian Flood Floetrol, so I'm going to keep using that. So my pouring medium for mixing with my paints is Valspar. It's the V700 Base C, and that's what you get from the paint counter, from behind the paint counter before they put the colours into it, before they tint it, and a polyurethane varnish, which was the Minwax varnish, and I've mixed it 3 parts of the Valspar paint to 1 part of the polyurethane varnish, and then mixed it to the right thickness to get my paints, just so they're nice and drop nice consistency for this style. And my pillow paint, my base paint, is just the Brilliant White Emulsion from Valspar, and I've just put a little bit of black in it, well, quite a bit of black in it, to get it to a dark grey colour, because I didn't want white on this particular style that I'm going for. Now I'm using 4 inch by 4 inch ceramic tiles, and I've given them a sand, just a quick sand, just to roughen them up with a bit of coarse sandpaper, just so the paint adheres to it a bit better, just so it's got something to grip to. And a really good tip is to use some duct tape or gaffer tape and make a little tab to hold on to, so when you're tipping your paint you've got something to hold on to and you're not having to try and hold your edges, because I've dropped it so many times when I've been doing it like that. So that's that works really well, and it's good and solid, it doesn't come off. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our base paint on, our pillow paint, nice good dollop in the middle, and then I'm going to start with the darkest of the reds. So I have given them a good mix beforehand, so we're going to do the biggest circle with the darkest red. And then the next tone down, or up, whichever way you want to look at it. So it's the mid colour, the one that I put a little bit of black in. I'm going to put that on top of that one. There's not a lot of difference in the colour, but it is noticeable, and I wanted to give some light and dark like shadowing. And then the brighter red, the crimson red, Altessa Crimson Red this is. So I hope you can see the difference in those colours. There's not a lot of difference. It's quite subtle. And then on top of that, we've got our cell activator, which is the Amsterdam Oxide Black and Flood Flowtron. So I'll just burst that little bubble there. I wanted the grey pillow because I really don't want white, because you know you get the little bubbles popping through. A lot of people call it the measles, and you get lots of white bubbles. So I'm hoping if I darken this base slightly, then I'm not going to get those measles. Got a little bit of white on the end of that. I'll get that off. Oh, still got a little bit of white on there. Never mind. And then we blow the black over the top of the colours, over the top of the red. And this is the technique that you have to master with this style, this Sheleeart style. So you need to blow down and out. So all you want is that black to go over the top of your colours. There. So I'm going to leave that one because it's got to rise back up. I've blown it down, so I've got to let it rise back up. So I'm going to leave that one there so it can rise back up off the pillow. If it sticks down to the bottom where it touches the tile, you have a job to move your paint. So I'll just do the second one. So we can do exactly the same again. Put your pillow down. And then the dark red on top of that. Oh, nearly pulled the whole lot. You can pour it straight out of the bottles, but I got these bottles off Amazon. And it was, now I can't remember, was it Tammy Anderson that had these on hers? Or it was either Tammy Anderson, I can't remember now, or Julie Cutts from Pouring Your Heart Out. But the really go and watch Julie Cutts from her YouTube channel is Pouring Your Heart Out. There's Tammy Anderson, there's Erica Hughes, and they're really good at these paint pouring videos. They've had some really lovely results, so I do like watching the videos. So that's our dark red. This is our not quite so dark red. So I pour round in a circle like that, because you don't want to pour it all straight in the middle, straight down, because you don't want it to sink, you want it to sit on top. So I just go round in a circle. This is the brighter red. And then our black cell activator on the top of that. And the black cell activator is a lot thinner than the colour paints. And we don't want so much of the black one, the cell activator. So then we're going to blow that one out. There. Now, if you struggle blowing your paints out, which I know a lot of people do, You can use a hairdryer on the low setting, or you can use a straw. What am I doing? Look, see what I'm doing? I'm just going to tip it straight into that flipping cup. I swear I'm losing the plot, you know. That's because I've been mixing paints today, and it's just pour them in the cups, mix them, pour them in the cups, mix them. So I'm just about to pour that straight in the cup. So I'm doing a set of 4, so we'll whiz through them. Next pillow on there, because whilst I'm doing these are having the chance to pop up. I'm really annoyed because there was a little bit of white on the end of that cell activator black, and it's gone in there. But never mind, such is life. So we're going to do the dark red again, exactly the same with all of them. That white on the nozzle is where I've been doing this, and then come to put the cell activator on and touch the nozzle into the white paint, and then forgot to clean it off afterwards. The slightly mid-tone red, and then the deep crimson, and then our cell activator on the top. See, this part you can whiz through really, it doesn't take too much doing. Black cell activator, and then we're going to give it the blow. So this is the blow is what you need to practice. So I'm sorry I need to take it off camera, but I need to get it, it's either that or get my head, well actually my camera's a bit low to get my head under there anyway. Not doing a very good job of this blow. Yeah, that's that one. So I'll just carry on and do the 4th one. The 3 reds on top of that. Dark, mid-tone, and then the bright red. Cell activator on top of that. And then blow that one out. Just got my chin in it again. I always manage to get my flipping chin in the paint. Oh well, there we go. So that's our 4th one. So we'll put that to one side, let that rise up, and then we can start tilting this first one. So I like to just wiggle it backwards and forwards to start with, so it just starts moving. Make sure it's all moving freely, which this one is, and then we can just bring that paint down to those corners like that. Just helps it to move a lot easier. And tilt away. And back again. I'm not sure I like this one because it's got that white in it, but we'll see how it turns out. Put my finger there so you don't lose that lace in there. Then back to the centre. And then off that corner. So what I usually do is I usually get a bit of this paint that's run off there and put it back on there. That helps drag it all down. So it does move quite slowly, but it is moving. So I'll put a link to the video where I tested out the flood flow troll against the water for the cell activator. So feel free to go and check that out if you're wondering whether to buy the Australian flow troll or not. I really like it and I will be buying some more. It was about £25-ish off eBay from Australia to the UK, which is a lot of money because it was only 500 mils, so it's not a lot, but you don't use a lot. You only use a little bit that you put in the cell activator on the top, so a little bit goes a long way. Just want to get that off that corner because I don't want grey on that corner. So nearly there. That's it, that's got that. And then back to that corner. So again, I'm just going to put some of this on there to help drag that down. So please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification so you get notified when I bring out more videos. I will put the link below this video for the Sheleeart course to do this bloom technique, and she's given me a 15% discount code to give you, so do use the code because you will get 15% off. Now it's 99 Australian dollars to buy the course, but that sounds a lot more than it is if you're in the UK or even if you're in the US, because Australian dollars, you get more Australian dollars to US dollars, and it's about £25 UK sterling. But you will get 15%, whether you're in the UK or US or wherever you are in the world, you will get 15% off if you use the code that I'll put the code below this video and the link to Shelley's course. And if you have the course, if you buy the course, it's a fantastic course. You get to learn to do this brilliant technique, and also, which I think is just as important as the course, you get access to the Facebook group. So there's some really talented people in the Facebook group, and you will learn more after the course as well. So whatever country you're in, there's somebody on this course that's in the same country and will be able to help you buy the stuff that is available in your particular country. So I'm just going to speed this up a bit because it is very slow running. So there, we've got to the corner. It is a patience thing because the first two corners run off very nicely. The third corner takes a little bit longer and the fourth corner is really slow. So do have some patience with it. You have got to have patience. So when I've tipped it and I'm happy with it all like that, I just go along and scrape along the bottom, making sure not to ruin your sides. Just scrape the bottom on all four sides like that. And then you haven't got all the drips underneath there. So that's the first one. So we'll put that all back on its little cup and put that one to one side. So I don't know if I showed it you properly. There's that one. Not sure whether to redo that with that little bit of white. I don't think it's too bad actually. So we're going to do this one. So move it around to start with, just to get it all moving. That's all moving nicely. And put a bit of this back on these corners. Might as well use the paint off the bottom that's dropped off already. And then we can start tilting. So I think I'll go off this corner first actually. So as you see, the first corner, it moves really fast. Well, fast for paint. So tip that off the corner and then back. And tip it off that corner. And I want to put my finger there to stop that lacing coming off. That's that one. And back to the centre. Always back to the centre. And then off that corner there. Put that back on, help drag it all down. So as you can see, these little tabs underneath do help an awful lot with holding on to the tile, but they do get a little bit slippery when you've got your hand covered in paint like this, but a lot easier to hold on to than just the edge of the tile. And then back to the centre, and then I just scrape those bottom edges off, and that's number 2 done. Pretty, really pretty. So we'll put that to one side. Ooh, sticky. This paint is so sticky. So can you see where I use the different colour reds? I'm hoping that shows up. So it's just like some shading. Just gives it a bit of shading. They are looking really pretty. So number 3. Let's get our paint moving. See, this one, it's a bit deeper. It's blown a bit harder in the middle, so it's just a little bit stuck in the middle. So wiggle it backwards and forwards. Just get it all moving freely. Because if your paint is stuck to the tile in the middle, then as you tilt it, the rest of the paint will go over the top of it. So you do want to make sure you've got it moving nicely before you start tilting it properly. So I think we're about there. Get some of that on the corners. That corner and back again. Now this one, I might redo this one because I'm not keen on, it's got a bit too much grey in it for me. I wanted it not, I don't mind a little bit of grey in there. No, I'm not happy with that one. I don't like the grey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape that off. And I'm going to quickly put another set on there. This technique, you have to practice so much with it, which is why it's good to work with tiles, because they're cheap to buy and they're easy to just scrape off when you make mistakes, because you will make mistakes. And it's practice, 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 and practice some more. Not so much grey, because the grey from the last one was because I blew down too deep with it. So I'm going to let that one sit there while I pour this one. While I tip this one. So get it moving, backwards and forwards, make sure it's all moving nicely, which it is. We'll get a bit of paint on the corners. I've got a lot of paint there now, haven't I? Because I've just tipped that one off. But it is all part of the learning process. Not everyone is a success. So you will have some that you need to scrape. In fact, if you're anything like me, you'll have a lot that you need to scrape. But I have a lot more successes now. Don't have to scrape that many. I mean, when I first started this, I was scraping a heck of a lot, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is costing so much money, all this paint being scraped off. Because it's not a cheap hobby, that's for sure, because you do need a lot of different types of products for these paint pouring techniques. When I've finished my coasters, people have been asking me how I do them, because I make these into coasters. So I resin them, and I've been using art resin, which is really good. I've had some really good results from it. I love it. But I've been told about this other resin. It's called craft resin, and it's in, actually it's in near Lincoln as they sell it. So obviously that's very close to me, because I'm just down the road from Lincoln. That's that one done. Just tip that one up. So I'm going to test out this craft resin. It's called craft resin. So that's 3 of those done. I'm just going to do this one. So I'm going to buy some of the craft resin and I'm going to test it out, and I'll let you know how I get on with that. So tilt it backwards and forwards, that's moving nicely. So we'll get this on the corners. And then I let these dry for about 3 weeks, because they do feel dry to the touch on top, but remember this is very thick paint, so it takes a good while for them to dry properly all the way through, all the layers, because there's 3 layers on there. Well, there's 4 layers, because there's 4 layers of the top coat and then the cell activator on top of that. So there's a lot of paint to dry, so I do let them dry for about 3 weeks before I resin them. And then when I've resin them, I let those dry properly, and then I put cork on the back, some self-adhesive cork, 4 inch by, because these are 4 inch by 4 inch tiles. I bought some self-adhesive cork that's on off Amazon, and they just stick on the back, and then there's your coaster finish, which is why I like to do them in sets of 4 like this, so there's a nice set. Do you know, it's funny, I'm doing this, I've got to learn some patience really, because I jiggle these and jiggle them and try and shake them. I don't know whether it helps or not, but I see just shaking these flipping tiles or canvases or whatever I'm working on at the time to try and get this paint to move a bit quicker. And I have done it. You've got to be careful. You're doing this and you're shaking these bits that are dripping off the end. Shake it, trying to get it down, and it'll flip back over the top. Very frustrating, especially if it's a really good canvas or nice pour that you've done. So this is my nod to Valentine's Day. Although actually, you know, my husband Neil and I, we don't do anything for Valentine's, because I think it's okay to do nothing for Valentine's as long as you both agree on it. And we agreed very early on in our relationship, many moons ago, that we don't want to be told when, I sound very, very po-faced, don't I? We don't want to be told when to celebrate our love for each other. So we don't go out on Valentine's for a nice meal. We'll go out another time when the restaurants aren't all rushed and trying to get you in and out quick so they can use the table for somebody else. And we don't even get a card for each other. We're not really, sound right miserable, don't we? But we're not really miserable. We're just tight-fisted. No. Oh, I sound awful. When you say it out loud, it doesn't sound very good, does it? But we don't do that for Valentine's Day. I might give him a nice set of coasters for Valentine's Day. Oh dear. Oh, it's the silliest little things that amuse me. I'll go, here, love. Here's your Valentine's present. What have you got me? Oh, I panic. So, oh dear, give myself a fit of the giggles. There's our set of 4. Oh golly. Might take that down a bit actually, I don't like that bit there. So I'm just going to try and take that off. Yeah, jiggling it again. Jiggling it, jiggling it. Trying to, oh, I just realised probably rocking the camera at the same time, sorry. So what are you doing for Valentine's Day? Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you buy each other presents? Or go out for meals? Or do you give your other half a set of coasters? Oh dear. Oh, I can't give him the set of coasters because they won't be dry in time. I should have thought ahead, shouldn't I? Oh well. There's not so much lacing on this one, is there, as the others? So I'm wondering whether I should redo that one. I'm going to redo that one, but I'm going to speed through it and speed it all up so you don't have to sit and watch it all. Scrape it off. There. I think that one's much better. A lot more lacing. It matches the others a bit more. So that's the 4 done. I do think it's important to show you the fails as well as the successes, which is why I'm just leaving this video as it is. I'm not taking out the 2 scrapes that I did. This is what happens when you're doing these sort of techniques. You do have some scrapes that you scrape off things that you're not happy with. So I don't want you to think that it's all so easy. Oh look, you can do it and it's easy. It's not. It takes a lot of practice and you will get the results. Like I said, I was doing this for a good while before I got the results that I'm getting now. And I know I can do better. I want to get better and better at it. But in the meantime, I think even, I mean, I've even seen Shelley scrape canvases or redo canvases, and she's the creator of this course. So you will have scrapes, and I wanted to show you that I didn't do just a full set of 4 tiles and they just came out like the 4 tiles I've got here. There were a couple of scraped ones, but that's all part of it. It's all part of the learning process. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to do a close-up of I'm going to get cleaned up. I mean, look, I get in such a flipping state. I'm going to do a close-up at the end after I've got all this mess out of the way and show you how the 4 turned out. And I'm really rather pleased with them. So please subscribe to my channel and I will see you next time. Bye for now.